Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Neeraj.
Good morning.
Welcome to today's mock interview. We can't see you yet. हाँ, अभी आप नजर आ रहे हैं.
Okay.
So you want to be interviewed in English or Hindi?
In English, sir.
English, okay. So please introduce yourself.
Sir, I am Neeraj. I am from village Mokhuta in district Mahendragarh of state Haryana. My father is in Delhi police. He is currently serving as assistant sub inspector. I secured rank 57 in all India rank 57 in IIT JEE exam. Then I joined computer science and engineering at IIT Delhi. And then I worked for 6 months in Times Internet, and from then on I am preparing for this exam.
So is this your first attempt or
No, sir, it's my fourth attempt.
fourth attempt? Right. What was your optional subject?
Sir, it's mathematics.
Mathematics. And what are your hobbies?
Sir, it's running, playing volleyball, and sometime I also watch football.
Football.
Yes.
Are you following the Olympics?
Yes, sir. In newspapers.
Why is it that India is not represented in volleyball?
Sir, it is due to first or foremost is due to administration. Our Volleyball Federation of India, due to infighting, got suspended in 2016. So our top players, our team was not able to compete at tournaments. Also, sir, second of all, we had a league, Pro Volleyball League, which also got suspended due to tax-related issues. So our players were not able to compete with the best players. This is one of the immediate reasons. In long term, we don't have good at grassroots talent scouting as well as infrastructure to train our volleyball players, select and train them for that.
So, if you were director of Sports Authority of India,
Yes.
what steps would you take to promote volleyball?
So first of all, sir, there should be reforms in Volleyball Federation of India so that this infighting should stop and we should able to compete at top tournaments. Second of all, sir, I will revive this Pro Volleyball League because it gives a chance to play with the top players of the world. Third of all, sir, in villages, we have retired army men who are also volleyball players. So by panchayat and by volunteer efforts of villagers, I will try to recruit them so that they can train volleyball players at grassroots as well as select them for higher competitions. So these are some of the steps.
And so far, how do you rate the performance of our athletes in the Olympics?
Sir, from last time, it was good because we didn't get medal like in shooting, but our teams was good. So I would say that our performance is below subpar in accordance with our stature in the world. But looking at from last time, it was good, decent.
Okay. Where is your father posted in the Delhi police?
Sir, he is in Delhi Traffic Police right now. He is at Chanakyapuri, Prime Minister's residence, overseeing that security of traffic.
Okay, okay.
Traffic police arrangement of Prime Minister.
Okay. So, what lessons have we learned from the second wave of COVID?
So first of all is that we need to we cannot be lax against this virus because this virus mutate and can spread very fast. So first of all, our preparation should be considering worst case scenario. So we should have enough oxygen, hospital beds, medicine. Second of all, sir, we need better logistics and as well as interstate coordination with respect to these things. Thirdly, sir, there is a need, we should continually abide by good behavior practices like wear mask, sanitize our hands. These are some of the things.
If you were the district magistrate of a district,
Yes.
and you had to prepare for the third wave,
Yes.
what all would you do?
So first of all, sir, I will ensure, I will ask our medical officers in district what is the worst case scenario. Accordingly, I will make arrangements of oxygen. We can have standalone oxygen plant in hospital and etc. Medicines, etc. Secondly, sir, I will ask my subordinates like Tahsildar, etc. to visit villages, and if someone found violating the norms, they should be punished to set an example, as well as to give a general sense of we should practice good behavior practice in villages as well as towns. So I will ensure that they visit those places. Third of all, sir, we have ASHA workers. So I will try to rope in if there are new migrants from other states or who is having symptoms related like COVID, and update data so that those can be tested promptly, and action should be taken on them.
Okay, thank you. Rajiv ji?
Thank you, sir. Neeraj, morning. Neeraj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, your father, you said, is in the police.
Yes.
Yet you have not opted for the IPS, not even at number 2. I thought you will put it at number 1, inspired by your father. No?
Sir, I mean, they both three are service. In IAS, you get more diverse opportunities to serve. So I thought it would be much better to put IAS at first. Secondly, sir, for IFS, sir, our well-being in nation is very much linked right now to IFS because we are dependent, like in COVID, on vaccines, or let's say new technology which are emerging. So I thought these two would be much more diverse areas in which I can work, and that's why I put on first and second.
Police is as diverse, but more important is COVID is not for years to come. It is not going to stay here for years. It will come and go. But why has that prompted you to opt for IFS and not the police?
No, sir, that was just an example. If you look at our economics, or let's say even political, also our connectivity or new technologies, everything in a globalized world, everything is linked. So IFS will also have a lot of impact going forward as we are becoming much more connected and globalized. So that's why.
Okay, you have an experience of working in a private company. Yes. Now you are seeking to come to the government. What are your expectations? I mean, what do you feel that you have missed out in the private sector that you are seeking to achieve in the government?
First of all, sir, it's the very high impact. For example, sir, I can, in our village, there is a village forest, and there is a sand. So somebody want to mine by cutting those trees. The Sarpanch also passed this thing. So when villagers get to DC of our district, he stopped it immediately. So you can make much higher impact in this. Secondly, sir, it also it's a outdoor kind of job rather than a desk job. IAS, IPS. So that would be also a good thing. And those are the things which I.
But I mean, I really can't understand. There have been people out of the government. For instance, Mahatma Gandhi had nothing. I mean, he had no connect with the government administration as such.
Yes.
Many other people, Sundarlal Bahugunaji, yes, they have all made impact in their own way without seeking the aid of the government or a private sector or whatever. They've done it on their own. If you have a conviction or a cause, you can make an impact.
Sir, but I also need a career. I should earn so that I can support my family. So I can fulfill my responsibilities towards my parents. So I need a stable life also. So that's why I picked these civil service.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough. Now tell me, uh, for instance, how will your background of computer science come to your aid, or how will it aid the civil if you join the civil services? What use can you put your knowledge of civil services into play?
Sir, first of all, sir, this uh, uh, first of all, sir, we can use online portals. Right now, we have a lot of them, but we can like in our district. DC launched the oxygen portal. So if anyone wanted oxygen, he just made a request and oxygen was supplied at home. So likewise, we can deliver better services by it. Second of all, by doing by artificial intelligence, by doing data analysis, we can also find irregularities within service delivery as well as improve them. Thirdly, we can improve our policing by finding the hotspots of crime by doing data analysis. So we can also use that. Sir, like that, we can use tower data of how many phones are connected in a location to tower to know that what's the mobility requirements of a place. Sir, for example, like in Uttarakhand floods in 2013, tower data was used to locate how many people were there at Kedarnath and to do rescue missions. So this can be utilized in this ways.
Have you observed, Neeral, that the railway minister has made two significant changes after he has joined? I will tell you what they are. One was about the shift, double shifts.
Yes.
Other was about the adjustment of the clocks, alignment of the clocks, the watches to keep the timings. To what use will the two? How will it benefit the railways in these two areas?
So I am aware of first one that there will be two shifts. So it first of all it can reduce the COVID impact. Like there will be less people in the office, so there is less risk of COVID. Second of all, sir. Uh, Second of all, it could also increase productivity because they are having diverse timings, so they can come at one time and second time. So there will be a change of office hours. So I could only think of these two, sir.
I think the second is relevant. First, as you said, COVID will come and go. It can't be a permanent measure. You can't have in place permanent measures for tackling COVID.
Sir, I'm not aware of second development.
Okay. Okay. Now, where is this 32nd parallel? 32nd parallel.
Sir, I don't know.
Okay. What is the LAC and what is the LOC?
Sir, LOC is a line of control. It's unsettled border between India and Pakistan. It's a temporary line, but it is demarcated on ground. We have fences and etc. On LAC is a line of actual control. It's between India and China. There is no demarcation on the ground because there is no agreement which both sides agree, which they adhere to. Like China consider Arunachal Pradesh to be part of this, India consider to be part of it. So that's LAC and LAC.
Okay, tell me, Chahabar Airport, what does it seek to provide to India?
So first of all, sir, connectivity to Afghanistan and Central Asia. We will able to be bypass Pakistan to connect to these areas. Second of all, sir, it is said it has strategic strategic implication also, because we will there is a Chinese port nearby at Gwadar, and we will have Chabar port. So second is this. Thirdly, sir, it is said that we can also import fertilizer, etc., by industrial areas near it. So it would also help our agriculture.
What confidence building measures would you recommend for improving our relations with Pakistan?
Sir, first, sir, I think this initiative should come from Pakistan because unless they stop this, especially in their military, this anti-India mindset and their regular terrorist activities against us, sir, the environment will not be able to be conducive for talks. But for temporary provision, we can take like not violating ceasefire violation or resuming the trade through Atari border and through Jammu and Kashmir. And so these are some of the measures we can take, but when a strike happens, terrorist strike, then they all go into vain.
What do you understand? Yesterday, the Honorable Prime Minister made an announcement, or day before maybe, about e-rupee.
Yes,
What is it?
sir, it's a prepaid voucher scheme in which a string or QR code, something like that, will be delivered on a person's mobile number, and he can take his phone to a designated centers, and he can buy things or get cash, and he can do whatever he wants from that voucher money.
My last question, do you think that the policy of Uttar Pradesh on the population front, it should be, you would recommend that to be brought about in other states as well, including your state?
Sir, in our state, sir, the total fertility is already at replacement level, but nevertheless, we have huge population. So incentives can be given to like people who only have girl child or who only have two child. But sir, this provision about not giving welfare benefits to others who have more than two kids, etc., should not be adopted, I think, because it punishes child for something which he hadn't done anything, because a child is not responsible for his birth. So we should not be sanction him that he cannot join government jobs or cannot get benefit of welfare schemes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj. Over to you, Arvind Mohan Saab.
Good afternoon, Neeraj.
Good afternoon, sir.
So nice to see a person who has taken mathematics as an optional. Because normally we see people with sociology, anthropology and all. And also a computer scientist. That's good. So could you tell me something about magic number?
Sir, I know about...
Have you heard of magic number?
Sir, I only have heard about magic square, but
not magic number.
No.
It was given by the famous mathematician Ramanujan.
Sir, is it 729?
1729.
Yes, sir. It's a square.
It's a
cube of two numbers sum.
It's the smallest number which can be expressed as a cube of
two numbers.
Two sets of different numbers.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can have any two numbers, make a cube. Cube of 1 plus cube of 2 second. You come out with a number. But it is the smallest number which can be expressed as the cube of
two set of numbers.
Sum of cube of two different numbers.
Yes.
And we read a number system called complex numbers.
Yes.
Why do we call that complex?
Sir, I'm not aware of the specific story behind it, but
No, not story. Otherwise, because we imaginary, we used to say.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, it could be due to iota is equal to -1 under root. I mean, that doesn't make sense to most of people and most of in real life. So I think that may be.
Yes.
You also said its operations are different, like like we have an intuitive feeling about 1, 2, 3, 4, but in this we have to take a modulus of number to even get its value.
Yes.
So it could be due to that.
You must have studied these set structures. What is a field?
Yes, sir. Field is a set on which have two operations, and we can call them additive and multiplicative operators. And on both of these operations, it is a group. So there are condition of group, 5 conditions, and on multiplicative as well as on additive operators, it is a group. So that's it.
There is one more condition.
And except -0, on multiplicative, we should not include 0.
A distributive law must hold on the two operations.
Yes, yes, yes. Only.
You omitted that very important thing. Otherwise, they are two different two operators, and they must be groups under each, but distributive law must hold. So you studied computer science.
Yes.
So you must have studied Java and
yes,
things like this. So they are all belonging to a class of languages called object-oriented programming. So what are the advantages of this object-oriented languages?
So first of all, sir, it's very intuitive to think about it, because we in real world we see models of things like we have car, and then it has certain properties data, and it has certain operations on it, like we drive, move left, stop, these kind of things. So it's very easy to model real life things. In object, we have two things. First is we have some data, and then we have some functions. So first is that. Second is that, sir, and there is a property that we can inherit the structure of a group and make it of an object and make it a super object of it. So it's also nice to extend our object, and we don't have to do the implementation of sub object because it's already implemented. So it's also good because of security, because we have property called encapsulation. So it is also secure. Like in procedure language like C, we have security problems, buffer flow attack, and all these things. These are not there in Java. So these are some nice properties.
Yes, it makes programming simpler because the objects inherit the proper methods of the class.
Yes.
So all the methods are inherited.
Yes.
They can be applied immediately.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we were talking about India, Pakistan a little while back.
Yes, yes.
How you, sir, was asking what should be the confidence building measures, and you said no. As long as this thing is there, we can't have. But thing is, how long can we avoid talking to Pakistan?
Sir,
after all, they are neighbors.
Yes, sir. I mean, we have already taken, and we should also take these measures like no ceasefire violation and resuming the trade and this. But we have seen a cycle like things started getting well for 1-2 years, then a major strike happens in which its state institutions are implicated like ISI and army, and then things get back to square one, and then again this cycle. So I think that Pakistan, there should be something fundamental change in Pakistan, thinking that it should also think that it's need a good neighbor to progress, because unless it realizes this, I mean, on our own, we cannot do much, right? I mean, we have already done so much, but
why India did not join that Belt Road Initiative?
So first of all, sir, it is against our sovereignty. It passes through Jammu and Kashmir territory. Sir, second major point is also that this promotes debt trap diplomacy, in which China is invest in poor countries and struggling economies and take over their assets like Hambantota port. Sir, and the biggest concern is that from what I have read, that they are ensuring that their standards are adopted in these projects. So in future, it will be very difficult for us to participate in that country's projects because of the standards also. So these are
nice. Now we are talking a lot about financial influence these days.
Yes.
So why is this financial influence so important?
Sir, it is because unless we provide good financial instruments to our poor, uh, uh, it will be very difficult for them to come out of poverty. Like if they don't have saving instruments, so they cannot save. There is always a threat of theft and all this, and they will also not get interest on their savings. If they don't have financing of their projects of like their some small scale enterprise, and they cannot do entrepreneurship. I mean, like they get from money lenders at a very high rate money. So if they get affordable rates on their lending, so they will be able to get more profit and get out of cycle. This also, sir, they also.
Now, when do I say that? Yes, continue.
Also, sir, they face a lot of risk, like health risk we have seen in COVID, and so if they don't have insurance, so it has a very debilitating effect on poor.
So when do I say that a person is fully financially included?
Yes. Okay. Sir, I mean, first of all, he should have a bank account, and secondly, he should have access to these basic financial instrument like a saving account or lending, some social safety net like health insurance and all these kind of things. And these are the basic things for financially included.
Now, how has this direct benefit transfer helped us?
Sir, it helped in financial inclusion because money is getting in poor's account. Also, they get some kind of health insurance. Also, our draft facility is also there. Second of all, sir, it reduces leakages because we are putting money in poor's man account and not giving by through diverse set of actors, middlemen. Also, sir, it reduces our administrative costs in running schemes. So also, sir, we can do data analysis and these kind of things to find out frauds.
Fine. Oh, you were talking about e-rupee a little while ago.
Yes.
So, as I could understand from you that it can be issued by government only. Can't a private individual remit through e-rupee?
So from what I have read, I mean, there is private sector will also be allowed it because it's in technology, anybody can use it. I mean, there is nothing, special about government in this. We already have coupons. It's like we can say coupon in private sector, which we get after.
Okay. Is it just like any other coupon or there is something special about it?
Sir, I think the number of banks which are supporting it is very high, first of all. Second of all, sir, the money can be transferred.
Banks are not supporting it.
Sir, I mean,
banks are there, but basically it will be used at designated, I would say, purchase or shops only.
Sir, I think
not at banks.
Okay, sir. I mean, we can get money in this. In coupon, you have to buy a thing and they give you a discount and these kind of things. Here, we are getting like a money, digital money, like a thing.
Fine. Thank you. So we end your interview here and we'll now start with the feedback.
Neeraj, see, again, you are the second candidate running today whose voice was not too audible. I mean, I don't know why the voice is not coming very clear to us. It is only to me or to other members of the board as well.
No, it was not clear. It was not clear.
It was not clear, yes. So that really is a handicap because we want to listen to each and every word that you say in order to assess. But any word that we miss out is a great handicap. Anyway, from whatever I could make out, two or three observations. You had a very, and you were very passionate about when you were talking about maths. It could show that it's your, it's a subject that is very close to your heart. It could show on your face the smile, the cheer it brought to you. Some more things. See, on the UP population policy, for instance, you gave your observations, which should come at the end. At the beginning should be why it was brought about. What is the government of UP saying about it? That should come at the beginning, because as a career civil servant, you will have to take into account all the points that are put across by the stakeholders. So first of all, say what the government of UP is saying, why it has been brought about. Then certainly you can go and quote other people. For instance, the assembly has debated, parliament. It was also mentioned in so many agitations were being held. What they have to say also you can bring about. It's something. It's in a democracy. Everybody has to be heard, but you must point out both the points of view. You must, because and then you can give your view. That your view. This could be. Some tweaks can be made. Some changes. This would perhaps. It will not affect the largely the structure of the policy, but certainly bring about some measure of confidence in the people who are apprehensive that it is going to hurt them. That is the way it should be handled. Number one. Number two. When I asked you about why not police and why do you want to come into the government at all? You could have remained in the private, or even without the private sector, you can bring your points across. Many people have done so. Gandhiji never had a administrative structure at his command. Sundar Bahuguna ji never. So when you were answering, you gave a good answer, but I would like to suggest to you that you bring in both the aspects in the first instance. First, you said you want to serve the country. General things you said. When I forced you, then of course, you came to the other part that I want it as a career because to sustain my family. I think both the things should be together. Let's be very frank. You are seeking a job. All of us are. So you should bring both the components together instead of waiting for the board to prompt you to say, or kuch bolo, then you say कि वो career उसके लिए भी है. Both the things are a fact. So it's nothing new that you are seeking. Number two. Number three. On the Pakistan confidence building measures. Confidence building measures mentioned some also at the diaspora. That is a very important component that is now, they're making their presence felt, and we are also taking into account how their views, their points of view, their contribution, their reach and everything. That is the third one, and the fourth one I wanted to mention was about the 32nd parallel. See, since you've given IFS as number 2 option in your survey, you must go through all the aspects that you can lay your hands on with respect to the boundaries. 32nd parallel is between the two Koreas. It's just a factual thing. It's not that you have missed out a great thing but I would suggest that as many things as you can capture because you've given IFS as number 2. So there could be many questions on small questions like this. So these are areas I thought I should bring to you. Neeraj, all the best. Arvind Mohan Saab.
Yes, Neeraj, it was a nice interview, but yes, of course, at times we could not listen you properly. So that was a handicap. We had to face that today. And talking about questions that you answer, you have a very cool and calm way of answering the questions, which is something very good. But sometimes you halt while answering the question. Then you start thinking, what's the next point? So you may do that thinking before you start answering. Because what happens is the interviewer thinks that your answer is over and he starts with a new question, and suddenly you start your answer of the previous question. So it can be a problem. Okay. So that thing you have to take care about regarding that magic number. Actually, you knew the answer. You did not know that it's a magic number.
Yes, I didn't know the term which is used for it.
Actually, there is a story behind it that
Yes.
Ramanujam was not well.
Was
Professor
in hospital.
Hardy.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in hospital.
Taxi.
Professor Hardy, he came to see him, and
Yes.
it was his car's number.
Yes, taxi number, sir. He
Taxi
said
number over
there
there,
is nothing interesting about it, and he said
there is nothing interested, and he Ramanujan used to say that all these numbers, they are just like my friends, I play with them.
Yes.
And the complex numbers, imaginary, we used to call them initially. Complex term came later because nobody thought that square root of -1 can be there. So then they imagined that there is an iota which can be thought of as a
Under root minus.
Square root of -1, but later on it would develop into a two-dimensional number system, and we called it complex numbers. And regarding the questions that I was asking you, more or less it was okay. But regarding that question of e-rupee, because it's very important, it is a concept which has come just now. You must read carefully about it. So the intention of the government is that the money, earlier what was happening in direct benefit transfer was that the money was transferred to the account, and after that the person could spend it the way he wanted. Now the government is wanting that money should be utilized for the purpose for which it is given. Supposing the money is given for purchase of fertilizer, so it should be used for purchase of fertilizer. The government wants to ensure that. So in each code or QR code or coupon, whatever you call, which will be sent, it will be ensured if it is given for fertilizer, there will be designated fertilizer shops from which the person can go and give the code and buy the fertilizer of his choice. Same way for other things also. Because right now what was happening was the money was being given by government but not being used for the purpose. Government was giving money to students for purchase of uniforms. The parents were taking that money, spending it anywhere else. So now the purpose for which it is given is also being ensured through this. And of course, it can be used by private people also. Supposing my son is there studying outside, I can send money to him through a QR code like this. That also is there. So you must read about it in detail. It is a very interesting thing. It is said that its usage will surpass UPI by many times in times to come. So over to Chairman, sir.
And Neeraj, what did you think of your performance today?
Sir, I think there is a scope of improvement in articulation. I expanded the points a little, largely, which could have been said in fewer words. Second of all, sir, in those questions about COVID management and using computer science in administration, and there could have been more innovative points or solutions.
No, in that answer, you could have talked about what were the problems that were seen in the first and the second wave. And you could have listed out those problems mentally and tried to address them. For instance, we were found short of beds.
Yes.
So as the head of a district, you would try to assess how many beds are there and whether they are adequate and what can be done to increase the beds, increase the availability of beds. Now, with the beds, you will require medical personnel.
Yes.
Do you have enough personnel? And if you do not have, what can be done to augment the personnel at a short notice? Thirdly, facilities like ventilators, oxygen concentrators, essential drugs, So that is the third thing. Fourth thing is the, ambulance service.
Yeah.
We were found wanting in ambulance service severely. So you will try to, mobilize local resources, maybe involve the community in having more ambulance services. And so your approach, since you are a mathematician, you have to be very precise in your approach. The approach should first be identifying the problems and then trying to find their solutions, right? You did that throughout your interview, But you are very right that I found you wanting in your response to the COVID, which actually put to test your logical thinking and so on. So that is one thing. Otherwise, your knowledge base is quite good. There are some small tips that I would like to give you. First of all, what is it that you're going to wear on the
Sir, suit and tie. I will wear suit.
Suit.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, don't wear a flashy tie, a sober colored tie, which goes with your shirt and your suit. And the color of the shirt should either be white
Sir, it's white. It's white.
Or off-white. Okay. So this is one. The second thing is, I hope you are planning to shave on the day of the.
Sir, yes, really.
You should have. So today is a mock interview. You should have treated it as the final interview. That is how you would have got the final, got the feeling, and we would have told you this is right, that is wrong. So anyhow, doesn't matter. You should have shaved even today. If you're going to give any further mocks, when is your interview?
Sir, it's on 20th September.
So there's a lot of time,
yes,
right? So are you planning to take more mocks?
Yes, sir. I am doing offline mocks on 9th. Then I plan to take 2-3 at least offline and 3-4.
There's no need to take many mocks. Otherwise, you'll get very confused. I don't advise you to take too many mocks because that will only confuse you.
Okay.
Another very small tip, which is very small and you may ignore it, that today you have put a lot of oil in your hair.
Sir, it's a sweat. I mean, in Delhi, there is no electricity at my home. So,
okay.
So it
doesn't matter. But that day you should be nicely groomed, which means that you should shampoo your hair, not have oily hair, oily thing on your face. I have advised some candidates who have oily skin that just before going for the interview, keep a tissue paper and wipe your face clean of all the sweat. And another thing is that you have a bit of a scowl on your face expression. But when mathematics questions were asked, or now, for instance, now you are smiling and you have a very pleasant face. You are a very good looking man. So there is no need to scowl. Yes, this is the correct expression that you should have through the interview, right? So these are very, very small things, but they matter. They matter because imagine, please understand, it is a personality test. It is not a test of your knowledge. So it's a personality test. So this is all that will go towards projecting a very good personality. Your answer to the question about not keeping police high upon priority was again not very satisfactory. You should think of a better answer because as Rajiv sir had said that because you are a police officer's son, police should have been, if not number one, at least number 2 on your priority. Doesn't matter. There's no hard and fast rule, but you should have a better explanation for that question. Think about it and, keep something more, convincing in mind. Okay. Otherwise, you have all the makings of a very good candidate. We wish you all the best. And,
thank you, sir.
And I'm sure you will do very well. Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, have we advised him on his dress, sir? I was not.
और आगे के इंटरव्यू में आप जाएंगे तो कृपया ऐसे जाइए जैसे कि आप फाइनल इंटरव्यू में जा रहे हैं. और बहुत ज्यादा मॉक मत लीजिए, लेकिन क्योंकि आप फिर बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूज होइएगा. ठीक है ना. कोई कुछ कहेगा, कोई कुछ कहेगा. तो और यहाँ मैंने कुछ हम लोग को फीडबैक मिला है कि कुछ बहुत ही आउटलैंडिश और अब्सर्ड सजेशंस भी लोग देते हैं. तो एक ऑफलाइन दे दीजिए और मे बी वन मोर ऑनलाइन इफ यू फील लाइक इट, बट डोंट हैव टू मेनी मॉक्स. ओके. You are fine. You are absolutely fine.
Okay.
You just need to cheer up a bit, present a good countenance, and you would be absolutely fine. I'm very proud that a colleague of mine has produced a son like you who has made it to the.
Sir, it was an honor to, interviewed by you. I know. I used to read about you, sir, in newspapers. So
Yeah, okay. No, that's very nice of you to say. But I'm very happy that you have made it. And I'll be even happier if you make it to the final list. We wish you all the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, Neeraj, all
All
the
the
best.
best, Neeraj.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.